Hey guys, what's up? JP here. Today is the 20th of April 2016 and it is a very exciting day because the nominations for the IPF Classic World Championships have now officially been closed. So what I want to do today is share with you a little bit of information as to how the nomination process works, how team selection works, how the groupings in the contest might work, as well as giving you a bit of a preview into some of the big battles that will be going on at the Open World Championships, specifically the men. So what I'm looking at right now is, as you can see here, these are the nominations, and the nominations range from obviously the 59 kilo class, 66 kilo class, there I am, and goes right into the super heavyweights. Now this link also has obviously the juniors, sub-juniors, masters, and there's also another link for the women, so I'm going to share those links in the description box below. But mainly I'm going to be looking at the men's open today. So firstly, what you're probably wondering is, what does it mean that these nominations are now closed? So in the IPF, the rules state that 60 days before a major contest commences, nominations must be finalized, and after this date, there is to be no more new entries. So Classic Worlds starts on the 19th of June. 60 days prior to that is today, the 20th of April. So as of today, no more new entries can come through. So all these names that you saw on this list here, there can't be any new names that enter. Right up until 21 days before lifting starts, so I think that's maybe the 30th of May or so, maybe the 29th of May, lifters can be pulled out, or really lifters can be pulled out right up to the date, but for the most part, lifters can be pulled out and they can also change weight classes. Once that 21 days before the competition starts elapses, lifters no longer have the choice of changing weight classes. You have committed to your weight class. So that's how the nominations works. That's why it's so exciting, because there will be no more new names being added to the list. This is it. Now, the other thing you're probably going to be wondering about is, what is up with team selection and how does that work? So what you'll notice is that in the men's in the men's list, each country has the right to choose up to 8 men competing in the open class. So for example, Australia have the right to submit up to 8 competitors, and so true is for every country. You can't submit more than 8 lifters, and you can't submit more than more than 2 lifters in any individual weight class. So there are 8 weight classes. Ideally, you would submit 1 lifter in every weight class, but you have every right, and you have as a country, you have the power, as a team, you have the power to choose, all right, we're not going to send a 66 lifter, but we want to send 2 74s. Because you might have 2 really, really competitive 74 kilo lifters, and really no one in the 66 category from your country that has a chance of winning or taking home some medals. So you might deliberately stack a weight class, but you can't have more than 2. The last thing that I want to quickly share with you and explain to you a little bit more information is about the session times and how the session times work. I'll also include a link into the timetable of lifting. Now, in each group of lifting, you can't have more than 14 lifters. So for example, if we're looking at the 66 category, I'm going to use this just because this is my my category. We have 19 lifters here listed. Now, there are obviously 2 reserves. So these guys probably won't make the team unless there's an injury in their respective country teams. But because there are 19 lifters and we can't have more than 14 lifters in a group, that list of lifters will have to be split into more than likely 2 groups. So for example, let's assume that there are 17 lifters. There'll probably be 2 groups, one of 8 and one of 9. So there'll be a group A and a group B. Group A features the stronger lifters. Group B will usually feature the less advanced lifters. So this groups all of the stronger lifters together, so they all have the opportunity to compete against each other. Whereas those that are going to be less competitive compete in another group. So it's advantageous, especially if you feel like you're in a position where you can place or score a medal in an individual lift, to be in the A group. Because if you're in the B group, in the less competitive group, you will be lifting first. So you don't have the opportunity to make attempt selections to displace other lifters from Group A in order to win medals. So nominations are really important, and what some countries will do, so you'll see, for example, here, I'm nominated in 8th. Some countries will actually submit false nominations, so that way they can push themselves up the list. So I hope that all makes sense. So what I want to quickly do is just run through with you some of the top lifters in each group. So the first weight class that we're going to look at here is a 66 category. So you'll see here the top nominations: Sergey Fedosienko, Franklin Leon, and Darius Zola. These three are going to be the most competitive lifters in that group. Now, Fedosienko is I think he's like 36 years old. He has won so many world championships, it's ridiculous. He is by far the outright favorite and is quite likely going to win best male lifter. So that's not going to be an overly competitive group. The real battle will be for second place for silver medal. Leon Franklin and Darius Vazola, they've also competed many, many times internationally, mainly equipped. Actually, the Polish lifter won the first Raw World Championships in 2013 in Russia, and I was there. But Fedosienko didn't compete. So that's going to be a fairly competitive group in terms of second, third, and fourth placings. But I think unless Fedosienko gets injured or bombs a lift, God forbid, I think he's very, very well likely to win that class. And you can see here the totals. His nominated total there is 270 over 587. Now let's look at the group of interest on a personal level. This is a 66 kilo category. So the main main competitors are going to be Sergey Gladky. Now Sergey Gladky is Russian. He's got the world record equipped total both as a junior and as an open, 8:15 as an open and 8:10 as a junior. So he's very competitive, very strong. Has been lifting for a long time. I think he's won 3 open world championships equipped, and this is the first time that I've seen him compete raw. And he's got the highest nomination of 655.5, which happens to be over the raw world record. So he must have done that at a domestic competition. Keith McHoney is the second nomination. He's from the USA. He competed at the Arnold Classic only a few months ago, where he officially broke the total world record. Squatted, I think, 240 kilos, benched 155, 157, and deadlifted 267.5 kilos. So very strong lifter, has a total of 655. Stephen Cascioli is nominated in third with a total of 649. I think he did that at the Canadian Nationals. Very, very strong lifter, well-rounded, good at all 3 lifts, has a squat open world record, and he narrowly missed the 659 total at the Raw Nationals. Now the next lifter of Georgia, very unknown, I really don't know who he is, and the only information I can find on him is a really poor performance actually, so I have a feeling that might be a bluff nomination. Unfortunately, I don't know much more about him. The next two are of really big interest. I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly. Ting Hsieh of Chinese Taipei and Antti Savolainen of Finland. Now they have lower nominations, 630, 620 respectively, but they actually came first and second at the World Championships last year, both totaling 650. So just there, the top 5 have nominations between 650 and 655.5. So it's going to be a very, very competitive group. I'm really looking forward to see how that battle plays out. I'll be wallowing in the background, hoping for a deadlift medal or something of worth to take home. But watching those 5 really battle it out is going to be very, very exciting. Let's move to the 74s. 74 kilo category. Number 1 nomination we have here is Alexander. This dude here, Alex. Very good lifter. He won last year's World Championships. Currently has the world record total of 712.5 kilos. His nomination's at 725. Now, it wasn't long ago, maybe only a few months ago, that he competed at 83, and I think he totaled 750 or 740, something ridiculous. But he must be coming back down to 74s, and his nomination's in at 725. Pavel Mada, his nomination's at 717. Then there's 707, 702, and 700. So 5 nominations above 700, and the world record officially is only 712. So the 74s also going to be a very, very competitive group with a couple of guys in at 695. Let's move to the 83 category. This is going to be pretty much a 2-horse race. Brett Gibbs of New Zealand versus mainly John Haack of the USA. Now, Brett, very well known. A lot of you know that I'm currently coaching him, have been since late last year, mid to late last year. He's going to do the best he can. His best total is 801, totaled 830 in training. He's looking very, very strong. John Haack, a little bit younger, 1993 born, technically a junior, but he's competing in the Opens, so big props to him for doing that. Very big step up to compete in the Opens. He's looking really, really good. He hit, I think, an 807 training total not long ago. So them two are really going to be battling it out for first place. Again, behind pace will be Owen Hubbard and some Kazakhstan lifter. They'll be a little bit behind. So I think it's going to be Brett Gibbs versus John Haack. Very excited to see how that pans out. Let's move to the 93 category. This is really, really interesting. The first nomination is Mikhailo Belaney. Now, he lost Worlds 2014 to the third nomination, Krzysztof Wizbicki. And I don't think he competed last year. And if he did, he didn't win because Wizbicki won that as well last year. Uzbeki is currently nominated in third, but has won the last 4 IPF Classic World Championships in a row. So he's looking to make it 5. His nomination's at 8:10, but he's done 8:47.5, which is the current world record. This Bulgarian lifter, Borislav Adov, I don't know too much about him. He's got an 8:12.5 nominated total. I've seen some of his stuff on social media, so that is a legitimate submission. He's very, very strong. The 93 is also going to be very competitive. 105s. This is one that I reckon is very, very interesting. So what you're going to see here in the 105 kilo category is we've got Bryce Lewis, Eli Burks, Garrett Blevins, all of the USA, all of the top 3 nominations, 860, 850, 835 kilos. This ties into what I was saying before about how a country can only submit 8 lifters in the men's class, 1 in each weight class, no more than 2 in a weight class. So the USA have a lifter in every weight category. I mean, at 59, it's Sean Fresquela, at 66, Keith McHoney, 74, Taylor Atwood, 83, John Haack. So they've got a lifter in every weight class. If they can't go over 8 lifters, so they can only submit 1 105, maybe 2 105s if they drop someone else. So it's really unfortunate that, these guys here like Bryce Lewis and Garrett Blevins, who have a very realistic chance of winning or taking home medals, aren't going to make the team for Team USA because their selection criteria is based on the results from the Nationals, which occurred in October last year. Those results might be a little bit older or less valid than more recent results, but that's just how the selection criteria works. So you really have to win your own Nationals to even get a spot on the team. And you might be one of the best in the world, but it's just unfortunate that the best in the world happens to be from your country and you lose. So, going to be very interesting. Assuming those 2 lifters don't go, I don't see, assuming it's only Eli Burks that goes, I don't see why he would lose. Alexander Rouse of Estonia, very experienced. I don't know what Eli's experience is at international level events, like Worlds or North Americas or whatever it might be. But I know that Alex has very good history, very good experience at competitive international level. I mean, he was at the 2013 World Championships. I saw him compete there. So, very, very experienced. 120s. The 120 is going to be absolutely dominated by USA's Dennis Cornelius. Recently set the world record total of 971.5. Broke a world record squat, world record bench. Has a very good deadlift. 971.5. I remember 2 years ago or 3 years ago, Mike Hsieh was totaling like 910, 920. Mohamed Bouthia was totaling like 920, 930. And that was like huge. Cornelius comes out, blows it all out of the water. The only person that can challenge Cornelius is Mohamed Bouthia, who is the reigning world champion, 2-time world champion. Last year in Finland, he won, and in 2014, he also won in South Africa. I'm not sure about 2013 if he competed. So that's going to be really a 2-horse race, but I don't see why Cornelius would lose. The last preview that we're going to have a look at is the 120 kilo super heavyweight class. This is a very, very competitive group. It has been for a number of years. Let's take a look. The biggest nomination here is the Ray Williams of the USA with 1,012.5. He currently has a world record total. He has consistently produced totals over 1,000 kilos. He's a very consistent lifter, very strong. The next highest nomination is of Iran with 1,000 kilo total, very, very good lifter. But the dark horse that I wouldn't say tipping, but I think has a very realistic chance. Kelly Branton, the great white juggernaut of Canada, 982 total. But there's a lot more there. That total was produced in December last year in Canada, where he only got 1 deadlift. So if he can produce a second deadlift, he's already got 1,010 kilo total there. So it's going to come down to the wire. Other lifter there, Jeza Uepa, and Latvia's Martins Cruz, going to be very competitive. But they've more or less stalled. They're a little bit older, particularly Jeza Uepa. So I don't know how much more progress they're going to make or how well they're going to be able to peak for this meet. But nonetheless, it's going to be very, very interesting. So to wrap things up here, you're going to see that there are, down here, 165 open men's lifters that are competing and 11 in reserve. So those are lifters that have been named in the teams, but there's not enough room for them, so they will likely get dropped later down the road. Of those 165 lifters, there will be crowned 1 best male lifter on Wilks points, that is pound for pound the strongest lifter. My tip is going to be Sergey Fedosienko, very, very hard to beat. The wizard himself, very experienced. But the major drawback is that he competes at the start of the week. And the super heavyweights are going to have a chance to take a look at his score and try and displace him from the best male lifter. So if it's not going to be Fedosienko, it'll be Ray Williams or Kelly Branton, depending on what they weigh in at and what totals they can produce. Nevertheless, IPF Classic World Champs is going to be very, very exciting. We're only 9 weeks away from it now. In fact, less than 9 weeks from the commencement of lifting. 60 days. So I hope you're all as excited as I am. I hope you've enjoyed this video and enjoyed a little bit of insight into how the selections work, what the competitive groups are going to be like. And if you've got any questions about a little bit more the intricacies of the IPF, feel free to ask me in the questions below and I will share that information with you. Other than that, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Buy one of these Brett Gibbs t-shirts. Who's on Team BG? Who's on Team 5 Strong? Let me know. And I will speak to you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Joey, come back! How the fuck did you get a bicycle? Holy crap. I'm running like a bicycle person. Oh my god.